it's Amesy, Princess Anna here. So I know you guys already watched the part of us learning about how the hot air balloon lifts and goes down. And today, well, not today because it's the same day. Now we are learning about
the toilet tank. So, Miss Anna, with all of your plumbing and mechanical knowledge, tell us how the toilet tank works. Now, we're not talking about the flusher system. Well, we are talking about the flusher system. We're not talking about the pipes under the toilet.
Yeah.
We're talking about the tank that sits on the back of the toilet.
Yeah.
How does that tank work the toilet?
So I know because I've seen it a couple times. There's little cords, and I see there's this little metal thing that stays in there by one of the cords, and that helps the toilet flusher go down and up.
Okay.
Because I learned you moved it around a little, and I watched the little toilet knob thing, and it moved around a little.
Mm-hmm.
I think it pulls the pipe up a little. So that I think there's a little handle thing, and it pulls the pipe up a little. So that way, I think it's like a pipe that you pull the thing up, and it has a little space in between one part that's like a hole and the other part that's not like a hole. Kind of like a gap if you were buckling in your seat from this side to this side. And so that's what I think it does. And then it goes into this huge tank. I know you can probably tell there is a huge tank because of that round thing at the bottom of the toilet. And that's where all the poo and stuff goes.
All right, you ready to find out how it really works?
Yeah.
So this is our diagram about the toilet tank.
Okay. It says many toilet tanks work with a siphon.
Siphon.
What's a siphon?
A siphon is something that sucks.
Oh.
Sucks like through a straw.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think they show some of that here. Kind of sucks it out. But, all right, what's it say?
It says many toilet tanks work with a siphon, which accomplishes the apparently impossible feat of making water or any other liquid flow uphill. Yeah.
Yeah. So that seems weird, right? Why would water go upwards? Gravity pulls it down. But apparently in toilet tanks, water goes upwards. How does that happen?
And then it goes down. Provided the open end of the siphon tube is below the level of the surface. The water will flow up the tube, around the bend, and then down to the opening end. Operating the toilet
cistern.
Cistern, what's that?
The tank.
Yeah, like this part.
Mm-hmm. So they're saying if the bottom of the tube, see how the bottom of the tube is below the bottom of the water level?
Yeah.
So as long as the bottom of the tube is under the bottom of the water level, then it will siphon the water up and out and over this curve here and pull it downward because it's lower than the lowest point of the tank.
Yeah. Once the water begins to double back down the siphon tube, air pressure makes the rest of the water follow it.
Follow.
Yeah, follow it.
Follow it. So here's the tank.
Yep.
And the bowl, the toilet bowl.
Yeah.
And the pipes going out, the waste pipe.
Yep.
And here's the floater. What do they call it? The floater that's inside the tank?
Tide. It says there goes the tide again.
No, they're talking about the water level. Here, what's it say down here? Step 1.
The tank flushes. After the handle is pressed down, the water is lifted up the siphon by the disc.
The water is lifted up the siphon
by the disc.
Tube.
Yep.
Up the siphon tube by the disc.
So where's the disc?
Here's the disc.
Oh.
See? So that you flush the toilet, you push the handle down, right? And when you push the handle down, it pulls this up. Pulls the disc up.
That's what I was thinking. So when you pull this down, this part goes up.
That part goes up.
This part lifts up so this can go down.
But the water comes up out of the tube, right?
Yeah.
Read.
The water reaches the bend in the siphon pipe, then travels around it. As it falls, the water in the tank follows it.
Okay, so there's water on top of the disc, right? Because the disc starts down here, and there's water on top of it. So when you push the handle, the water on top of the disc comes up, and it reaches this tipping point, right?
Yeah.
And as soon as you start the water over that tipping point, then all the water in the tank follows it because it's heavy, right? It's going below the level of the tank. So now all the water is following.
But
it's all coming out the siphon. And they show it here too. See? You push the lever, it pulls the disc up, and then all the water starts going up and over and out the tube.
Yeah. When the water level in the tank falls below the bottom of the bell, where is the bell? This handle thing? Oh, this is the bell.
Mm-hmm.
When the water level in the tank falls below the bottom of the bell, air enters the bell and the siphon is broken.
So when the water level falls below the bell, then you get air in here, and that suction that pulls all the water out is broken, right? So now you're done draining the water out of the tank, and then what happens?
By this time, the float has fallen far enough to open the valve, and the water under pressure enters to refill the tank, and the float begins to rise again. Okay,
so by this time, the float, here's the float, has fallen far enough because when you lifted this, it tipped downward. So the float falls to the bottom. See it?
Mm-hmm.
It's fallen far enough to open the valve. So the float is attached to a valve that opens up. See the water pipe?
Yeah.
It opens up the valve. And when the valve is open, then the water pressure comes in and fills the tank back up.
Mm-hmm.
See? Mm-hmm. And then number 3.
The rising float gradually shuts the valve.
Shuts the valve.
Yeah, shuts the valve, cutting off the water supply. Although the tank is full, the water cannot leave through the siphon tube until the handle is pressed down, forming the siphon once again. The float and valve work together to form a self-regulating mechanism.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
So what's a self-regulating mechanism?
Well, self-regulating means that it regulates itself. Means everything is managed by itself. It's like a little ecosystem. Like all the parts work together and make it happen. It doesn't require an outside force other than the person flushing the handle. So once you flush the handle, at that point, everything does its own thing, right? Mm-hmm. You flush the handle, the water comes up through the bell, goes out the tube, through the siphon. The floater falls down, triggers the valve to come out, the water to come into the tank. The water fills up the tank, the floater goes up, plugs the valve, and everything has reset. Yeah. So it's self-regulating. It regulates itself, does all of that all on its own, determines when to stop, when to go, everything. So the steps of everything working and functioning happens by itself. The mechanics of the process happens all by itself.
Mm-hmm.
Got it?
Yeah.
So, do you understand how the toilet tank works?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Shall we do one more?
Yeah.
All right, so then the next one will be the electric guitar.
Oh, that's gonna be cool.